My name is Beth Hiley here for Board Game Geek TV at Gen Con 2013. I'm sitting down with John Kowalik.
Hi.
And you have brought up ROFL.
ROFL, yes.
Otherwise, for those of you not in the texting know, rolling on the floor laughing.
In fact, we don't say texting anywhere on the box. It's some people hate texting, and the game
true.
is not about texting.
I have to say, I'm one of those people.
Me too. I've got very fat thumbs.
Yes.
But it makes a wonderful game mechanic.
All right. You know, I'm glad there's some redeemable qualities of texting. I'm going to get razzed for that later. Sorry. All right. Well, why don't you walk us through? This is definitely looks like a party game.
It's a party game.
I love me my party games.
For 3 to 7 players, plays in about half an hour. The point of the game is there are these cards, which television, books, and comics, movies, politics, history, sayings, and each will have a phrase on them. All of these phrases have a source. They come from somewhere. You don't have to know where they come from. All you've got to do is get the phrase across to the player who is that turn's guesser.
Okay.
The guesser will not have seen the phrase. Everybody else will have seen the phrase.
Okay.
So phrases could be from television.
Here, we'll put that
Good.
right in the middle.
Good news, everyone. Books and comics, my precious. Movies, you're a wizard, Harry. Now, some of these, again, these that could also be movies, that could be books.
Exactly,
But,
yes.
Politics, history, Dewey defeats Truman. Sayings, Great Scott. And movies, Soylent Green is people. Or She Turned Me Into a Newt.
Oh, I'm pleased I'm getting all of these, by the way.
Everybody was kung fu fighting, for example. So, the players will all, apart from the guesser, all the players will see one phrase. Then they've got 30 seconds to shorten that phrase as much as they can, while still keeping the phrase legible so that the guesser will understand what they're trying to get them to say. For example, if we take a phrase from television, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. So one player might go,
Here, we'll put it right in
going
the
for the
there.
short, nudge, And so the pink player would put their token on 6. No two players can occupy the same space.
For having 6 letters
6
in their
characters.
clue.
And the characters, allowable characters, are anything from a keyboard. Typical keyboard. Zafting bats are not allowed.
Okay.
But alphanumerics.
Minus the spaces, at least.
Spaces are free.
Okay.
Spaces are free. We're not monsters here. At 8 characters, purple plays Nudgin' WW.
Okay.
At 9 characters, Nudge Wink times 2 is
Okay.
played by the orange. And going for the slightly easier one, blue plays 16, Nudge Nudge Wink Wink, which will be pretty hard for anybody not to get.
Since it's
But
exactly the
if you
same.
find yourself going last, writing out as much as you can is actually good, because you might be able to pick up a cheap point.
That's true, if they really got stuck until the very
Exactly.
end.
So what happens is the first player, the lowest the player using the lowest number of characters shows their message to the judge first. So the judge would see that phrase first. Now, if the judge is a hardcore Monty Python fan, they might get nudge, nudge, wink, wink. I beg pardon, the guesser. The guesser only has one shot. They cannot sound out the phrase. As soon as they start speaking, they can't think out loud, and no hints are allowed. But they might just say nudge-nick for that one, which would be incorrect if they don't know Monty Python that well. So no points there. Had the guesser gotten it, both the guesser and the player would have gotten 3 tokens, 3 points. Now, they didn't. So the second shot goes to the purple player,
Who has a little
who
bit more.
has nudge WW. Let's say the guesser really doesn't know Monty Python.
Yeah, because they still maybe are getting stumped by what the W
Westward, nudge Nick Westward, I don't know. They miss it by a mile. And of course, obviously this card is turned over the entire time. Now, had they gotten it, both players would have had 2 points.
Okay,
The
so-
guesser. So it gets fewer points as you go along, which gives you the incentive to try and shorten it and go early.
Hence the texting flavor of
The
it.
flavor,
Got it.
the mechanic.
Now they might see wink for the first time and say, oh.
And it's times 2. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
Although it'd be pretty awesome if they said nudge, wink, nudge, wink.
That would, and then you would want to throw something at them, I would guess. Maybe
And
this
then,
timer.
and then sign them up for Monty Python
Exactly.
Marathon.
So now, from this point on, only 1 point is awarded because they've had a few shots, they've not gotten it. And again, had it gone down to nudge, nudge, wink, wink there, that would have still have been 1 point. So that's the game. You go around 3 times, everybody gets to be guesser 3 times, so 3 rounds, and the player with the most points at the end is the winner.
Now, just one clarification for me. Now, when the guesser is just waiting and we have 30 seconds to shorten this, are we all doing this simultaneously?
Yes.
And then we just compare numbers as to how long our
Yes.
guesses and arrange them?
You can play, yes, you can play your tokens at any time. You can even play a token after the timer's run out. You have to stop writing when the timer's run out. But a lot of hardcore gamers, and this has got, this actually works with hardcore gamers as well as just general party gamers. I'm very pleased with the reception. The reviews have been fantastic, and I'm frankly really relieved. Unlike Munchkin, this is all me. This is the game and the art and everything. This is me on a plate, and it's like, oh my gosh. But a lot of the hardcore gamers, when they play it, will take, for example, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, and they'll go 6 first before even writing, and they will just want to
Commit themselves
to grab the space. Most more casual general party gamers will wait until the end and put their tokens down.
All right, now here's the most important question. Has anyone actually fallen on the floor with
I
laughing?
believe nobody has ever, in the history of LOL and ROFL, nobody's ever fallen on the floor laughing.
So that's a challenge to BGG, to play this and get on camera someone cracking up so bad that they actually fall on the floor laughing.
There have been some hilarious, actually sometimes it's more fun when they get it wrong. And there are some I certainly cannot say on camera.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But it's got, as one of the developers of Apples to Apples, what you look for in a good party game is just a really tight set of rules, something new, something very different, but also something that gives you those social moments when people are laughing at the ridiculousness of the situation or just something somebody said. So a party game has got to actually succeed on a few different levels.
Yes. Well, John, thank you so much for coming by and showing us rolling on the floor laughing. ROFL, excuse me.
Rhymes with waffle, not
Sorry.
awful. Waffle.
That's a very important distinction.
Very important.
Thank you for stopping by.
It's been my pleasure. Thank you so much.